According to my understanding, with the ending part of this chapter, it says we should expect an epilogue next week. So, the finale. We have one more chapter. I thought 200 was going to be the finale. So, thank God we have an epilogue according to my understanding. Because if this was the finale that I had to wait for a year to 2 years, I would be kind of... I'm probably going to be pissed no matter what. Because it's going to be sad to just see this series done for years. Like, years. As I said in my reviews back, a couple weeks ago, before it went on break, the writer of this series said that he's going to be doing a new series after the Breaker Part 2 ends. New Waves, pretty much. And he's going to be writing a new series, and so the Breaker Part 3 is going to be on hold for about a year or two. And that's kind of sad, because this series is fucking good. Very good. And it's going to be on break for a long time. So, yeah. Anyways, when it comes to this chapter, the person that was the final boss, the final bad dude of the Breaker Part 1, makes a return with the finale of Part 2. He returns, and he is going to be training our main male character, Shi-won, from now on. So, overall, though, when it comes to this chapter, you can definitely tell that the series is starting to wrap up when it comes to Part 2. You could definitely tell that the knots are just starting to tide over and, knot up and just say, yeah, Part 2 is about to be done. And you can really see the correlation with the title of the Breaker New Waves, because New Waves, you could symbolize that as, like, new waves, new men, new youngins coming in. And that's kind of what this chapter focused on, and kind of what majority of Part 2 has been about. These new young masters appearing, these very strong people that can use martial arts. They're now going to be taking their rightful spot and place in the martial arts world, and that is what was going on in this chapter, setting up for the new people to come in and make their name for themselves and not be fearful of, being stupid or young and being made fun of because they supposedly are masters and they're young. And to see how New Waves plays a role with that, with this chapter, I really appreciate that. And it just goes to show you that the writer of this series set out and knew what he was writing when he started writing Part 2. The thing is what will happen next. So of course, we do know that Kaiser is going to be the finale boss of the series with the 9-Arched Dragon. And we do know Part 3 has already been confirmed a long time ago. And it's just going to be on a break for like a year or two, which a year or two is quite a long time. It's quite a fucking long time. I mean, you gotta think about that. That is a lot of shit that can happen in between 2 years. So, it'll be a while since I make another video. I mean, besides next week when I make the finale epilogue, I'll probably do an overview of Part 2 entirely. But to see how this is done, like, you can feel it. I felt it when I was reading this. Like, I really felt the finale approaching. I'm so sad. I'm just so sad. And I'm going to save my finale thoughts for the epilogue. I don't want to say too much here because I want to put my full emotions into when the final chapter is released to Part 2. But at the moment, what this chapter goes to serve is showing that the new people, like the young people, are starting to take over for the new or the old generation of the series. And now Shi-won is going to be learning training from the asshole that caused the 9-Arched Dragon so much grief in Part 1. And that's what this chapter goes to show. And Kaiser also manipulating people in the background like always. He's like, manipulating shit. And, the dude that Elder Quan fought, he has a robotic replacement on his face. Looks really fucking creepy, but, he got wrecked in this chapter. So, how do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about this series wrapping up? Like I said, I'm going to save my finale thoughts, my thoughts over the entirety of Part 2 for the next chapter, because it's going to be the epilogue, and I don't want to say it all here and just repeat myself in the next chapter. But overall, when it came to this chapter, The Breaker, all I can say is it's sad to see how this series is going to be ending very soon. Because, I mean, I haven't been with this series long. I've only been with it probably for about 30 weeks. 30 to 40 weeks. And that's a long time, yes, but it's not that long compared to how some of you have been. But when you get into that routine of reviewing something for like 20-something to 30-something weeks, it's kind of sad to see it go. It's like how I felt when I finished Berserk. I was fucked up because I just couldn't believe I was done with Berserk after so long, reviewing it for months, and to see how it just was done, I was really upset to see Berserk go. That's kind of how I feel when it comes to Breaker, because I've been reviewing it for so long. It's gonna feel odd not to, you know, come around next week and, you know, review it, which next week I will review, but I mean the week after that, when I come around to review it, there's no more to review. So yeah, that's it. I might start Tower of God. I might start Tower of God next. I've been recommended that quite a bit. I might start that next. We'll have to see. Give me your recommendations in next week's video on the epilogue. Give me your recommendations on what manhwa I should start next. Not this video, because, you know, like I said, next week I'm going to go in depth, and I'm probably going to ask recommendations, look for different things I might review next to pick up to replace the Breaker. So, at the moment, tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about this, you know, chapter before the finale? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.